1.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah the Rebel.
And I'm OhCatrina.
And this is
Woman Up Podcast.
For those of you who are new, this is a podcast where two crazy cat lady feminists talk about geeky stuff.
And other things. But mostly geeky stuff.
Yeah, pretty much geeky
Mainly
stuff.
just geeky stuff. I
think we're fairly solidly in geeky
Yeah.
cat feminism.
You know, and then
cyclone.
Sometimes, no, dinosaurs are pretty geeky too.
Yeah, I think everything else that we talk about counts as geeky.
I'm having a moment because I just realized that most of my life is not unrelated to fandom at this point.
Wow, I'm gonna let you have that moment.
This is upsetting.
So the way this podcast works is first we run down the latest geeky news, then we talk about our main topic, which this week is streaming, and then we round it out with our chick picks, which are things that we think that you should check out. We have picked those chicks for you.
We picked the chicks.
We picked the chicks. Don't tell the police.
So let's
dive right in.
Right into news.
So the first news is already exciting because I don't know how to pronounce this man's name.
Woo!
But Black Panther has a new writer, and it is Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yay!
I feel like his name's Ta-Nehisi.
This is a big move for Marvel, who has classically made a big to-do about how diverse their characters are, yet not hire diverse writers. So, very interesting to see a black man writing about a black man. Isn't that funny?
Wow, it's crazy.
It's just crazy.
Unheard of.
God, it actually is, pretty much.
He also seems really funny because a lot of people are tweeting him because I guess the stuff that he normally writes is really deep and really long and like all about socio-political, economic implications of the that sort of really deep stuff. And so a lot of people are snarkily tweeting him like, oh, is this going to be like a 500-page novel about, blah, blah, blah. Is Cornel West going to have a problem with this? And he's replying really hilariously to everything so far. So I am on his side. And also, he's a geek. This was a case of somebody who was known in the public sphere for something, but was also a geek. And so was able to actually see his dream come true and write for a comic. So I thought that was also pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's always good to see people who actually love what they're doing. So, really excited for that comic. When I first saw the announcement, I just saw Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing Black Panther, and I was like, what? Because I thought it was movie news, but it's still just as cool. Like, it's still just as cool that he's doing this, because comics are also awesome.
Right.
So.
They are also awesome. So since we last spoke to you, there were also some updates about the cast of Luke Cage. Most notably, Simone Missick. I've actually never said her name either.
Yeah.
I think it's Missick. Was cast as Misty Knight.
Woo!
This is a huge deal because she is not a barely black woman being cast as a black woman. Like, this is a black woman. She's black. There's no questions this time. She's not, biracial and maybe Chinese as well and all these other things that Halle Berry and that other girl are. She is actually a black woman playing an iconic black character, and she's not light-skinned. Like, she's normal-skinned. I don't want to say normal. I'm not saying y'all light-skinned people are not normal. I'm just saying she's, like, average tone. She's like a caramel. This is exciting, okay? I'm really, really excited.
And Misty Knight is kind of an iconic character just because she did pave the way for such diverse characters in Marvel. I mean, we all look at Storm and we go, oh, she's the forefront, she's the person who did it, but there are several different diverse characters in Marvel that were on the small time, and Misty Knight happens to be one of those that made the biggest impact pretty much wherever she went. I mean, she's had several different titles throughout her time as a Marvel character and has helped with the Avengers. She's teamed up with several different superhero teams, and she's always just been herself, Misty Knight. So it's really, really cool to see this character come to life.
Right.
Like, definitely one I've been waiting for a while.
And when I saw the picture of the actress, too, I was just like, that is Misty Knight.
Perfect.
Like, that's Misty Knight right there.
Perfect.
And then, in case you hadn't heard, Alfre Woodard is now attached as Mariah Dillard, and she is one of my favorite actresses as well. So that is going to all be very exciting. It seems like they have a very promising cast. Let's hope the writers don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Definitely.
Next on our list is Totally Awesome Hulk.
Amadeus Cho!
So it's really funny. There are some people who are doing a little bit of backlash and saying, so in case you can't tell from the name, Amadeus Cho is a Korean American. And there's a little bit of backlash, like, oh, they're trying to be so PC, they're transforming Hulk into an Asian man. Amadeus Cho's been around for like a while. He's not new.
This is just another case of a character taking up a mantle. And on top of that, there have been so many Hulks. Like, yes. There's a planet of them. I don't know if you guys were aware, but
there's a planet.
And Bruce Banner has had his ups and downs throughout history, and again, the thing about all these Marvel titles being handed over to new characters is that there are still running titles for all those characters who were still over there. Like, there's Captain America who's 87 in one storyline, and then there's Captain America from Captain America White, which was an interesting...
I thought that was the strangest name to... We do have to talk about this. So we announced that Captain America is now Falcon, who is a black man, and now we have another old Captain America, and you chose to name it Captain America White?
Like, are you... It's... I mean, people aren't that stupid, are they? Like, I'm sorry, I'm only here for the White Captain America. Which book is it? Oh,
this one. I can only think that it really is the marketing people being like, oh, it's red, white, and blue, but like, we'll name this one white so they'll know this is the one they want. When they're like, I want the White Captain America.
I mean, I'm not completely sure that, like, there was no red, because that's what I was thinking is, like, this might be like a trilogy of books. So I hope it is. Because otherwise, like, it wouldn't make sense in context. And then just seeing it randomly on the stand is just like, but you could have named it Captain America Steve, and we would have still known. We would have still known it was
Captain
Steve
America,
Rogers.
the white one, the right one. That's what they should have named it. Captain America for Trump fans. Like, what?
No, Trump would not be a fan of Captain America.
Captain America wouldn't be a fan of fucking Trump.
No, he would not.
Anyway, it was I saw that and I was like, what a straight... Maybe Katrina can shed some light onto this choice that they have made.
It's just out of context. It's just such a weird thing to just see on your comic shelf, like at your shop, like...
The white one.
And it just says it in the biggest letters possible. It's just weird. It's weird. It's funny and it's weird.
I just imagine it's going to help so many people who are going into their comic book stores looking for the white one.
Oh
There's
my God.
not going to be any confusion.
A+ Solani Drac on that American Dad
the
reference.
Steve. Yes, we get it. See what you did there. Yes, so I'm looking forward to it. I think he's real hot, and maybe now I'll finally have a crush on Hulk. Amadeus Cho is what we were talking about originally, in case we got really off topic.
I'm sorry, yeah. Well, I mean, I had a crush on Mark Ruffalo for a little while, but now he's just too much of a dad.
I was going to say I would never be attracted to him because he just looks like a kindly father.
He's like someone's dad. I'd be like, I can't be in your house.
I picture him with some glasses, like on the bridge of his nose, looking up from his newspaper and be like this, and I'm just like, yeah, his dad. He's dead. And that's another reason why the Black Widow relationship really bothered me, because I was like, she's so hot, and he is so a dad.
Hey, dad.
Ugh.
It's so sad.
Cut your curls, then I'll take you seriously as a love interest.
He's a sad. He can't be a dad.
There's plenty of dads I like, but he's not
okay.
not one of them. And neither is your dad. I mean, I like your dad, but I don't like your dad, if you know what I mean. Like,
totally
I like
fine, not offended.
Where's your dad been? He hasn't watched our show in a while.
Right? Where the fuck is my dad? Well, it is midnight. Like,
okay.
It's almost midnight where he is, so, like, and I can understand because school is back in. So,
okay.
yeah, so I'd give him a couple weeks so he can come back. He'll be back. I need to make him a mod, because he won't tolerate shit from none of you.
He'll block everyone. You better not make him a mod.
No.
So the next interesting thing was Michael B. Jordan did an interview and then did a Snapchat and then did some tweets in which it appears he has revealed that he is a fan of #AllLivesMatter.
Which is weird and contradictory to literally everything he's ever done.
Yes.
He actually last year at the BET Awards made a Black Lives Matter speech, and he, you know, when he was going up for the role of Johnny Storm, sorry, I was about to say the dumb brother Storm, but when he was going up for the role of Johnny Storm, he wrote a whole thing about, like, defining the color lines, or, like, getting away with the color lines in superhero comics and stuff. So it was really cool, and now it's just kind of like murky. I did not see the All Lives Matter Snapchat. I can't speak to it. I have no idea what that is about, but the GQ interview made him look as dickish as the Miles Teller interview did. He basically said that he is available to females of all races.
He did that shit where he called us females.
That male said a thing. The male specimen opens his mouth and crap comes out.
I just don't understand.
That one. That male
don't
specimen.
Don't call women females.
Like, we're gonna start coming up with dumb names for you. If you I will start fucking calling you space cadets just as an overall. So you call me a woman, I'm gonna call you a man. It'll be great. We'll be friends.
I've never heard females said about like human women in a positive tone of voice.
Yeah, these females. I can get with females. Oh,
you know, I got females. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nothing to me. Like, I've never heard anybody be like, "That is my female," and I love her.
So it's definitely a weird, strange, freaky turnaround, and it's kind of disappointing. You know, like, especially because not only has he done all of that, one of his earliest roles was about at Fruitvale Station was about a victim of a racially charged police shooting. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, what happened? I mean,
well, I read another article that offered a little bit of more insight and said it seemed a little more nuanced than that.
Yeah,
yes, he
within
seemed
context,
dickish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also the fact that this is a guy who was raised in this industry,
mm-hmm.
And there are a few other black actors who, I mean, Raven-Symoné comes to mind, were raised in the industry, and to be perfectly honest, just like richer white people can't relate to trailer park people, like, you just can't relate to something that you don't experience. It's just like our politicians not understanding when asked simple questions like, why do you think women get abortions? And our politicians are like, oh, I've never thought of it before. So there is that aspect of it that, like, he's talking about something he has no experience with, and he has probably always been treated a certain way, and thinks that all black people are treated that way as well, which is something I've seen from a lot of my friends who grew up in more privileged households, like where their parents were doctors or in the military. Your viewpoints change depending on how you're raised. That doesn't mean that that's how the majority of people are impacted by things that happen in the world around them. So kind of upset, but also kind of like perhaps he is just a product of the dickish space in which he is being raised. I mean, Matt Damon told a black woman about diversity. Like, Hollywood obviously has some fucking problems.
Yeah, serious disconnect. But hopefully, much like Matt Damon, who, unlike every other white male actor thus far, didn't say, I'm sorry for offending people. He ultimately said, like, I am sorry for talking over someone who obviously knows more. Like, hopefully this is just, like, a learning thing. He's stood for a lot in the past, and, like, I'm not about to get over here and be outraged about everything, but you can't, like, not say your fame isn't problematic when that happens,
right?
And
it's just also so frustrating, like, not everyone has to have the same opinion, right? Like, some people, especially when you're part of a movement, right? Like, feminism is an easy example. A lot of times I would use the no real Scotsman trope of being like, well, real feminists don't feel this, or real whatevers don't feel that. Because I didn't want to accept that there are people in the movement that have very different perceptions of what we're aiming for than I am. So, but in this sort of case where people are fighting for something good, I just don't understand the concept of, like, giving people their, like, person to put on a pedestal and say, see, Michael B. Jordan is a black man and he says it's not a real thing. So all of you unimportant people who are not rich and famous, I can ignore you because this rich and famous person said it's not a thing. And it's like, fuck.
That kind of reminds me, my friend Aisha, she actually brought up something not intentionally in relation, but like
Adorable
it kind
Aisha?
Yeah, Adorable Aisha. She brought this up and she was talking about it on Twitter, and she says, no offense to the new Pope, but I hate how people are just now using his views to suddenly change their opinions and suddenly do this. The Pope is okay with gay people. Suddenly, let's consider the gays. And so I kind of understand that, or it's just like, people learn and there's development, but yeah, there are definitely feminists with very different opinions on subjects that I find very important.
Right.
So,
speaking of that, the hashtag Masculinity So Fragile.
Comedy!
So definitely meant to be teasing and, you know, kind of poke fun at the fragility of masculinity, which is actually a thing, and it's a toxic thing that is hurting men. You know, what's really funny about it is there are quite a few men getting offended, which is hilarious because how often have you heard that something was just a joke? It's just a joke. Why are you taking it so seriously, you crazy feminist?
Just a joke.
You're
just so
teasing.
crazy.
You women are so emotional.
You're so uptight. You're so sensitive.
I don't get offended by anything.
Masculinity is so fragile, you stalk someone over a hashtag.
Masculinity so fragile. Y'all offered to fight people to prove it wasn't fragile.
And then female boxers started replying to him.
I saw that. I was like,
okay. Sure, let's fight.
So I didn't speak on it on Twitter because I think it was, for me, it's too complicated for me to just express on Twitter. Yes, I could have just jumped in and said silly things or pointed out, you know, that any of the things that anybody else was saying. But I also felt like, though it was a joke and though it was meant to poke fun at the fragility of masculinity, the problem is that it is really fragile. And I don't necessarily know that this served to enlighten any of them or help them, or like I don't think it helped at all. I think it was funny for a little bit, but I think it could easily be misconstrued as bullying once it goes too far. And I can totally see other people participating in it, and it's funny. It is. But I think it was college when I realized, wow, men do seem really fragile to me. And I'm this is like a deep thing, so don't get too offended yet. I'm gonna go into it. Calm down.
Hold on.
For example, a guy can come up to me and he can be like, well, Sarah, you put on a little weight since the last time we fucked. And I'll be like, yeah, I wish you went to the gym. I like big muscles. Now, if I said that to him, which I never would, it would crush that motherfucker. He would be upset. He would be, like, very defensive about it. Like, oh. But I would willingly take the you put on a little weight comment because it's like, that's a thing guys say. If a guy was like, oh, no, I like your titties. They're small and I like small titties. I can't be like, yeah, I'm happy about your little dick. I like little dicks. If I tell a man he has a little dick, he's ruined. And his self-esteem is ruined.
Yeah, the deeper part of this is that the problem with masculinity is that it's not only toxic to women, it's actively toxic to guys. It's actively toxic in that it builds up egos or it builds up expectations that they think they have to live up to every single day. They think they have to be this kind of guy. They think they have to have this kind of chest, these kinds of arms, this kind of dick, this kind of car, this, that, that all these rules are being made based around the concept of masculinity and proving yourself as a being. And then, it's not good.
Right. And then on top of that, if you are hurt, if your feelings are hurt, you can't express that. You can be like, man, I'm just really upset because Sarah said I had a little dick. You can never say that to your best friend who is a guy. You can't. And that's harmful. That's why men are dying before women are, because they're holding all of these emotions in and they're not being allowed to express themselves, and they're causing themselves mental torment as well because they can't be themselves. They have to be a guy. I had a friend growing up. He was a mentor to me. He's about 50, like white hair. I don't know. I was a kid, so it's hard to tell how old people were. I think he was 50.
Yeah.
And one day we were talking, and he mentioned that originally he had wanted to be an interior designer. Because, I remember why. Because he was pretty much somebody who helped the young people of the city reach their goals and, like, kind of was like an advocate for young people. And I said, how did you get this job? He wanted to be an interior designer. And his parents said, that's gay. No. And they refused to let him go to college for interior design. I was meeting a man who was 50 years old, who didn't get to spend any of his life doing what he wanted to do, who was in a pretty loveless marriage where he argued and fought with his wife a lot. Like, that's not okay. Masculinity is hurting everyone. It's not just feminists who are angry because we don't have our rights. Like, we want you to have rights too. I don't want my nephew to not be allowed to hug my granddad once he's 7. Because like men don't hug.
Yeah, and it kind of like makes it makes that drawing that line between masculinity and anxiety and depression in men very, very clear and thick. Like, that whenever I talk to a friend, a male friend who opens up and he's insecure about something, it's all these rules. It's all of these concepts of masculinity and he thinks that he is not living up to the type of person he should be, when in fact he is a whole person.
Right. Be who the fuck you are.
Yeah, exactly. Be who the fuck you are. Fuck masculinity.
What, you heard it here, a woman on podcast. Be who the fuck you are. Do it. As we said.
Yes.
So sorry to get all super deep about it, but like I said, I felt like I had too many emotions to just tweet it, and I didn't want to tweet something, flip it, and then have it misunderstood. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest.
Yay!
Speaking of nothing to do with that, Spider-Man is going to be 15 in the upcoming reboot.
Yes, which is great because usually he's like in college, whereas normal Peter Parker, when he was starting out as a kid, was a high schooler. Before like Ultimate and Amazing and all that, the different types of Spider-Mans, the original Spider-Man was a teenager, and that's why I never I haven't felt any like anger direct toward like the actual casting choice. I could give less of a shit about what's happening to Peter Parker until like a couple years down the road when he's got all these different friends. But like, you know, I think it's great. I think he should be young. I don't need a fucking heartthrob playing Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a teenager with a lot of problems, and because he's a teenager, he makes so many stupid decisions, which is my big thing. Like, all the Spider-Mans we've seen before have been the same origin story, and the same kind of dumb decisions, but they're grown men, and it's just like, but this is what the decision that you made as a child in the comic, and it makes more sense in context, because you were a child. Right. So, yeah.
It's actually... other side of that coin, it's actually what bothers me when I watch Game of Thrones with Daenerys. You know, she's, in the book, she's 14. And in the show, girl, you old enough to know that's dumb as hell. Yeah. What are you doing?
Exactly.
So yes, I can definitely see that. I personally am not interested in anything to do with Spider-Man. Just not. I've had enough Spider-Man. I got the cartoons, all of them, the movies, yeah, I'm good. I get Spider-Man, I get his concept. It's not one of my favorites. I don't care. Supergirl, a new Supergirl trailer came out.
Yes, it's cute. It shows off a little bit of a scene, a little more context on what's coming for Supergirl from her home planet of Krypton, and you know, kind of a look at the villains and stuff. It's really cute, really quirky. It's Supergirl, which is amazing. Like, this is the big thing about Supergirl, is she feels like a breath of fresh air in the middle of all this dark grit and like, oh, this grown-up story, and Supergirl's like, yeah, I'm a superhero. I'm so happy, look at my laser eyes.
Can we make that video like our Supergirl fan video? Like, Katrina reenact Super, and I'll be what's his name, Jimmy. I'll just be like, with a pen and paper, maybe, or just like, I don't know.
It'll just be like a whole scene of me trying to push a door open. But it's cute. You know, you get a look at her powers, and she shares a lot of the same as Superman. And some shots of her sister in action, and more context on the kinds of villains we're going to be exploring. But Red Tornado did not show up, which is good, because he looks like a giant fire ant. Just a giant fire ant. Which is weird.
I couldn't stop laughing when I looked at him, and then I was like, is this wrong of me to laugh? Like, okay, we
cover the vision and catch up.
We ask for costumes that look like what our villains and our heroes look like, right? We get a little mad when they make them too realistic. Yeah. Like, why hasn't Wolverine worn any of his iconic costumes in any of the X-Men movies? But this is a really prime example of why maybe there's like a rhyme or reason behind the choices not to do that. Like, I'm just staring at this man covered in ketchup. Clearly that's not his real skin color.
Yeah, it was a bad shade of makeup to choose. I would have chosen something far more deep and bright crimson, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bright reflective crimson that like normal superhero people have. And that's actually the shade that Red Tornado is in the comics. So it's kind of like, maybe it was the lighting, I don't know.
I'm gonna call him Red Tomato.
Red Tomato!
That's all I thought. I was like, look at his little cherry tomato face.
So, yeah, check out the new Supergirl's TV spot. Yesterday was apparently Supergirl's birthday, and we've soon got all of the DC shows coming back. And also, please pay attention to Vixen, because she has a 5-minute digital show. I'm really mad. I'm really mad at it.
Yeah. Go watch Vixen, though, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Anakin is rumored for... The note I wrote for myself was, why Annie? And I was like, what?
Okay, so I have a couple different thoughts on this, but I'd like to know yours.
I forgot to read the article.
Okay, so the summary is that there's apparently been talk of a set of Vader armor being on the set of Rogue One, and there is talk of Hayden Christensen preparing to film for Star Wars. Both of them are rumors. Nobody freak out. But everyone's kind of freaking out. People have been talking about it for, like, it's become the new, like, Hand in Space, where it's like, the movie will start off with Luke's hand floating in space with the lightsaber, and it, like, now it's just like, Anakin's Force Ghost is back, and I could definitely, like, I mean, if it's Hayden Christensen in the armor for Rogue One, that's great. I mean, put him back in the armor. He doesn't have to do any acting. James Earl Jones will still voice him, I'm sure, because by that era, he's definitely got his James Earl voice going.
Right.
Which, by the way, James Earl Jones joined Twitter today. Follow him.
That's where I'm kind of weirded out, because it's like, okay, I get the prequels, you know, he changed a lot of things, you know, including the Jedi being myth, whatever. Mm. But it does bother me that if it is his Force Ghost, that he'll appear looking like
Anakin.
Like Anakin.
It's weird, too, because I like, at the end of the movie, Luke sees who Anakin Skywalker is, unmasks his father, right. and then his Force Ghost is standing there, and it looks like Hayden Christensen, and it's like, what up, Yoda? Hi, Obi-Wan. Who's that?
Right. It was strange when they made that change, because, like, okay, I get, like, in your head this made sense. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't that age when he died. These guys, you know, weren't the age that you're thinking of when they died. So why, like, you know, like, do Force Ghosts get to choose what age they are? Yeah,
that's the other thing, because if Force Ghosts get to choose the age they are, then why isn't Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan? Like, that's what confused the shit out of me, because Ewan McGregor was not the Force Ghost that they put in place of Sir Alec Guinness, thank goodness. Like, I love Ewan McGregor. I think he makes some fantastic Obi-Wan. In fact, I think everyone who has taken on the role of Obi-Wan has made him into a character that I actually am intrigued by. But yeah, Anakin in a Star Wars movie again, I'm not keen on it.
It's like telling us Jar Jar Binks is gonna go. Like, can Jar Jar Binks' ghost be in this movie? Wait. I'm a genius.
Stop right there. Stop.
Can you imagine?
Stop it.
I would call it Exorcist so fast.
No, we don't speak that name. Yeah, we call it Exorcist on the theater.
I need a space exorcist.
Please help.
Judge would be like, Misa watching you. Like,
oh God, stop. Okay, but in all seriousness, I am obsessed with the Skywalker family. I love them. They're so stupid and dumb. And so in any context, if I were to see Anakin return to this canon, I would want it to be to have closure with his kids, and I'd rather have it be in the comics, because I want to see how Leia's going to react, because she did not react well in the expanded universe.
Right.
She was rightfully very, very, very angry when he tried to approach her and make amends, and she was like, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. God forbid she ever learns what happened to her actual mother. Like, no.
That was so great in the Princess Leia comic, though, how they, like, tease those moments of Amidala. And I was just like, oh, wow.
You've got to read Moving Target. It's actually really good. It's on my Google Play. I'll lend it to you if you want.
Thank you.
And it's only, like, 137 pages long. It's, like, a young adult novel about Princess Leia. But yeah, she's already, throughout the canon, she's had those little moments of, like, oh, I've had, like, she doesn't know what's going on, but you're like, you're having a vision. Oh, you're seeing something. Your intuition isn't just intuition. It's because you have the Force.
Right.
So it'd be
Your
cool.
midi-chlorians off the charts.
Off the charts.
Somebody was trying to make a joke about midi-chlorians at Geek Girl Brunch, and they said mitochondria. And A, I laughed really hard, but B, we all totally know they were mitochondria that you gave a funny name. Like, we know. Anyway.
Yes.
Sorry,
So
we got off topic again.
It would be cool to see Anakin back, but I don't want to see him as a Force ghost, and I really think that by the time The Force Awakens rolls around, his children are going to be way too old for him to have any input.
It's like, Dad, I don't need you. Where were you when I was 17?
I'm
While
68,
I was murdering,
Dad, God!
I was murdering a lot of people. I was very busy. You wouldn't understand. My job meant a lot to me, but I now see that I was wrong. No, you should have came back 40 years ago.
It's gonna be a Star Wars movie where it's like a 68-year-old Luke fighting Hayden Christensen's Force ghost, like bickering with him in a cave for an hour and a half. Like,
I would watch that movie. It's gonna be on Lifetime, guys. Oh my. So I'm actually laughing because of our next thing. Mm-hmm. The folks on the International Space Station got to watch the Martian movie. P.S. I have been loving how NASA has been working with the Martian to get people to come and check out NASA stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're totally all about Mars right now. They're like, you're going to be so interested in Martian. Let's talk about Mars. Mars. Come here. Come science one.
There's like a social media manager like, oh, yes, this is going to be great.
Right. And they maybe even, like, exchange money to do it. I don't know. But, like, I love it. I love that they're using this moment to really seize it and grab hold. And I hope in the next Goofy movie they do the same thing for Pluto, if you know what I mean. But the idea that people on a space station watched a movie about being left behind in space, to me was just like, can you imagine being on a cruise ship and they show Titanic?
Look, okay, what was that one earthquake movie that Vin Diesel was in recently?
Or you mean The Rock?
Or The Rock, yeah, The Rock. What was it?
I get them mixed up a lot, too. Strong, muscly men. San Andreas.
San Andreas. I can't watch San Andreas because I live in California. Like, if I were watching that movie, I'd just be holding on to my seat. Like, is an actual earthquake happening right now?
What would
I don't want to die in an earthquake. I'm from New York. I wasn't made for this.
Where would I go? There was a really funny BuzzFeed video when it rained, like how everyone's freaking out about the rain, and then at the end of the video there's an earthquake, and they're like, what was that? Oh, an earthquake. And that's how I feel about everyone here, but I, like you, I'm from Virginia. Hurricanes, no problems. The ground is moving.
Yeah, the ground is moving, and as much as anybody from LA reassures me that our houses are built to withstand earthquakes.
What's that crack then?
I'm sorry. What are these cracks in the street? Why are like half of the walls open? Why do you build your houses on hills with downward slopes? Like,
I'm just saying.
So, yeah.
It was funny to me that they showed it to folks at the space station, but they were all like, no, we're not afraid. It's really improbable and not likely to happen. So I love that, like, science defeated fear in that case. Or at least they're putting on a really brave front. Like, we can't let the world know how terrified we are.
They're like, next up, Apollo 11!
Or they can't, like, say it to each other because, you know, like, one of them is already thinking, I'm gonna have to eat you if you die. So, like, they're just, like, a pact. Yeah. It's like how presidents can't talk shit about past presidents. Like, astronauts cannot talk about what will happen if they die. In space.
Exactly.
There's a new Batman DLC out.
Yeah.
It's apparently not good.
I have not played it, but basically what it is they released a new Nightwing story, which I guess is what everyone's upset about, and they also released the 2008 Tumblr from The Dark Knight, which you get 2 new courses in, but a lot of fans are hoping that they basically put Batman in the Tumblr, and they're like, oh, his suit doesn't match, which... But good for anybody who is looking for it. Rocksteady is responding right now and wanting to know if you would like the Begins Batsuit or the Dark Knight Batsuit. So if you want, go ahead and check out Rocksteady on Twitter and let them know. Otherwise, Arkham Knight kind of fell short for me. Like, it was great. I finished the storyline, the main storyline, and it was fun, but I hate games that, like, once you're done with the storyline, like, you have, like, these petty little side missions and that's it.
Right.
So I'm hoping that, like, next month's Catwoman update will be cool.
Right. It was also just, like, strange, you know, having missions that kind of make sense or let you experience a villain or something, you know, those make sense. But like Erica Ishii said so brilliantly on Twitter, it's like, Riddler, races are not a riddle. I know you have a very tenuous grasp on reality and riddles, but a race is the furthest thing from a riddle possible. Like, it's not, like, you're taking puzzle all the wrong way. And this could have been, you know, these Riddler quests could have been a chance to, like, spend time with the Riddler, who is a very interesting villain, who can be very funny and quirky and strange and enjoyable. But instead, like, so many other things in the game, it was just turned into this, like, you like cars, don't you? Batmobile. Y'all love this shit. It's gonna be all Batmobile.
Do it again. Get in the Batmobile.
So, yeah, I watched some people play and was like, this isn't for me. Also, games that are that dark hurt my eyes a lot when I try to play them. I would much rather just watch somebody else play, because me trying to make sure one of those actual bat creatures is not about to pounce on me, that's too much eye strain. Too much eye strain.
I had to mess with my Destiny settings and make them not what they were supposed to be so that I could play.
I do that sometimes in on the moon. I'm just like, why is everything the same color?
Everything's dark, and with the Taken King, everything's dark,
Yeah,
and they
darker.
just like out in front of you, so you're like
out in front of you.
So yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times, and people who watch my stream know that I do this, that I have thought that a villain was my squad mate. And they're like, okay, he's coming back. Ow, who's shooting me? Oh my god, it's a villain! Like, they all vaguely resemble types of guardians. So it's just like...
It's really hard.
Except the robots. I never get confused that the Cabal or the Vex are my homies. Not that dumb. That's right, Bailey. So, also in the news is just the idea that old school cartridges are making a comeback via smartphones and other technology. It's pretty interesting and exciting for those of us who love retro games. One moment. Bailey, Mommy is podcasting. You need to be quiet. Shh. Okay. Seems to have understood. It's also exciting because you can buy cartridges for like 25 cents if you play your cards right.
What?
Can you imagine? You just play all the games you love without having to hook up another system and unhook it every time you want to play some other game on your smartphone for like 25 cents. It's your childhood.
Super
exciting.
easy. I love it. I love that mobile gaming is becoming such a thing because I'm a commuter. So like when you are on the LA Metro, it's fucking terrible. Like, it's the worst shit in the world. Half the time, it's just horrible. So having video games and you know, usually I read a book, but having a video game to really pay attention to so that I can zone the rest of the world out is amazing. So,
I wish I didn't get car sick, because I would love to zone out the angry man screaming, or the one talking about Jesus, or that one who smells like everything horrible you can imagine in life. Bailey, Mommy is podcasting.
I agree, Bailey. LA people are smelly.
So yes, it would be nice to do that. So I'm excited about that. My friend recently just got the new, I think it's Retron 5, and is having fun with that, and I'm so jealous.
Yay! So I guess that's everything, and we're going to lead into our main topic. 44 minutes after the hour.
Wow, we're doing so good. It's all right. We won't talk that much about it.
So TwitchCon is coming up this weekend, I believe.
Yes, Friday and Saturday.
Sarah will be there.
I will be there.
And she's going to be at a booth, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So in honor of TwitchCon and in honor of Twitch, which we use to stream our service, thank you very much, we wanted to talk about streaming and talking and creating a show or hosting your own basic live stream while you game. Sarah knows a lot more about hosting live streams while you game, where I know, well, both of us know about this, but I guess I'll talk about it, just hosting talk shows on the internet live. So, yes.
So first a little bit about streaming, because why not? Let's be professional.
Yay.
So it turns out that, like, millions of people watch streams, which confuses the crap out of millions of other people who are like, what joy do you get out of watching somebody else play a game? To which you can easily respond, why do you watch the Super Bowl? That's a dumb question. Most people watch streams because they're either enjoying a funny personality while also getting their fix of a game, or because they're watching somebody at the top of their field play a game. You know, whether it's watching an esports competition or watching a speedrunner kick an old course's ass. It's the joy of watching a beautiful performance or interacting with a hilarious personality. Or just great personality that you like a lot. I guess they don't all have to be funny.
It helps if they're funny.
I think it does help if they're funny. Interestingly enough, the vast majority of people watching, 94%, are guys, and most of them are between the age of 18 and 34. So it's like straight up millennial men are the big, huge audience for Twitch, which means that it's very easy to connect, right? You know, because this is the exact part of our culture that is interested in exact feedback, getting what they want, talking, and making sure that they can have kind of like an immediate response, an immediate like fulfillment of whatever they're asking for. So it's pretty much the perfect marriage of everything that could have possibly happened. And to put down a myth, no, the majority of popular streamers are not hot girls with their boobs out. I don't even think there's a girl. There might be one girl in the top 20 for streamers with the most followers. So that is a myth. Put it away. There are a lot of white men.
A lot of white guys.
Like, I went on the TwitchCon page to look at which streamers were their featured broadcasters. It's a little depressing.
Which is why we're educating you about streaming today, so that you can tell your friends and get everybody to diversify and create new content. Because why not?
Yeah.
It's here. We might as well.
Yeah.
Which is why we're here.
It's free.
Yeah. It's free.
It's free.
You can stream for free now. Well, I mean, you'd have to buy a console or your setup area, but for the most part, streaming after that is free. And you can make money off of it if you're really, really good.
I'm not good. Sorry.
I'm worse, if it helps. Like, I'm just terrible.
Not good.
I barely stream, and then when I do, I'm just like, I'm gonna move this droid around for 30 minutes.
It is hard.
An item hunt.
So, we're gonna get into that too. So, first of all, what do people enjoy about streaming, and why do they stream? Generally, a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons, and then can't keep up with it, because Twitch is really set up for a genuineness. It's not like YouTube where you can put on a personality for 3 minutes every day and be this character that you are for YouTube. It's a lot harder on Twitch to keep up a persona because often you're playing, what, like 6 hours? Can you keep up a persona for 6 hours? Because I generally can't. I try to be nice. It never works. Like 30 minutes in, I forget that my goal was to seem nice and perky, and I'm already back to normal Sarah. So streaming offers a level of authenticity that both the watchers and the person streaming can really enjoy. And I don't know, it feels good to be able to play a game and have friends to talk to, because most friends don't want to come over while you're playing a single player game. And most of our games nowadays don't really let you play multiplayer games.
No.
With each other unless you've got a Wii.
Well, hopefully Battlefront will change that.
Wii.
Well, it's going to be split screen.
Right?
No, Battleborn and Battlefront are both going to have,
I'm really excited about Battleborn having split screen, because I used to love having people come over and play Borderlands. People come over like, what games could we play? It's like, okay, we can play a fighting game and you're eventually going to get bored. Or we can go on an adventure and kill things together. It's going to be so much fun. I
wonder how, and like, because we're seeing that trend, I wonder how that's going to affect streaming. Like, that in-house multiplayer, are we going to be able to get everyone on camera to play for a long enough round to build an audience? But I guess that's for the future.
I really hope the future comes up with another camera for my PlayStation. Yeah. Because I want a Bailey cam. I want a dedicated Bailey cam for you guys to watch. But that's either here or there. We were going to get back to streaming. So sorry, I know we're talking about streaming, but you brought it up. What you do when you play a game versus what is entertaining for people to watch is an interesting topic.
Yes,
tons of people watch Felicia Day play her games, but she's mostly organizing her inventory. I too fall into this trap. Or when you're really concentrating on a boss battle and it takes 20 minutes to defeat that boss and you're not talking because you're concentrating on the boss battle. So don't think that just anybody can become a successful streamer. You actually have to work on getting better and doing more of the things that your stream likes to see you do.
And committing. There's a lot of commitment. A lot of streamers that I see that have huge audiences or streamers that are like, I'm going to be on every Tuesday at this time on the dot, and they are always there, and that's hard. Like, it's hard to manage that, and then the other possible like obligations that you have in life. So yeah,
it is definitely. I was streaming every day for a while, but the good thing is there's a nice feedback loop that will happen. If you're streaming every day, you will eventually feel really good and feel like you're having a lot of fun and feel like you're looking forward to seeing your friends today. So it becomes its own reward to stream every day. So once you can get over that hoop, it becomes much easier.
So why do you stream, Sarah?
I stream because I am lonely. That's why I do a podcast, so Katrina will hang out with me.
I'm really bad at leaving my house. It's not you. It's literally just I don't want to leave my house.
I know.
Ever.
It's why so many people in LA have podcasts. We don't actually want to talk to you all. We just want to see our friends on a regular basis.
I know a lot of LA podcasters who like much worse than us, because it actually does take me a while to get over here because I take public transit. They'll like live, you know, one of them's in Echo Park and like one of them is in like Santa Monica, and they're like, let's just do an audio podcast and we'll put it together and we won't have to go over.
Like, guys, no.
Put in the effort, you assholes.
Go meet in the middle at a Starbucks.
Meet in the middle, it's better audio. Jesus, come on. So, yeah, I mean, like, and for me, I don't stream as often, but I love hosting live shows. I love being able to interact with people and have, like, deep conversations about, you know, subjects in fandom that we really care about. And with Twitch and with other live platforms, I've been able to find that because people love being engaged when they're live. Like, that's the one thing I've noticed is that, like, comments are not as fun. You know, comments aren't as fun for people. They're not as, like, interactive and at the minute, like, if someone is on a stream, you can ask them a question right there. If, like, your favorite celebrity is answering questions on Twitter and you're 15 minutes late,
yeah,
screw it, you're not getting that answered.
Right, and when you bring that up, it also reminds me about Periscope.
I love Periscope.
I love Periscope.
Yeah.
I do, and it's like, what am I doing? I'm just talking to my phone. But I'm not just talking to my phone. I'm answering people's questions, and I have someone who's going to listen to me ramble, and I don't have to feel like, oh, your body language says that you aren't really enjoying this. Wow, my neighbors are, like, having a party.
They are, like, throwing up the party tonight. Shit.
What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
What are you people doing?
No idea. But yeah, just the aspect of being able to provide live entertainment at the same time as like having interactions with people is really compelling to me. Mm-hmm. So I love it, and then I like that people give a shit about what I have to say all the time.
Right.
This is a nice change.
It is. It's pretty nice. And I think especially for, back when I did have a full-time job and you working a full-time job, it could be so stressful managing office politics, managing your politics of your friendships. Bailey, mommy is trying to have a very important conversation.
It's like I had a hard day at the office myself.
Trying to, maybe you can't always be yourself, and Bailey is really connecting what we're saying right now. But on stream, you can let all of that go, and you can do your favorite thing, which is gaming, while hanging out with people who are going to make you feel like you're not an idiot who couldn't get that PowerPoint turned in on time, or you're not the dummy who didn't know that was the senior partner from Wolf from a Heart that walked by you, if you get that reference. It's pretty cool. So it is nice to feel validated, to feel loved, to feel like you have friends, and to share in the joy of doing something that you all love. So for anyone who's looking to start a stream, based on everything we just said, main advice is pick a schedule, be consistent, pick something that you love. Don't pick a game that you think will be popular and that people will like. You should try to be true to yourself. I've tried that before. When Witcher 3 came out, I was like, I'm going to play Witcher 3 because it just came out and I know people really like this game. I was miserable. And I miserably slogged through that game.
I know a lot of popular streamers who like specifically just stream indie games that they find like sitting on the App Store that they download to their computer, or they're like on Steam and they're like, this is new, boop, let's do it, because it's just fun for them to try it out. So find your style. What do you like playing on a daily basis outside of hosting anything, and just start with that, because like Sarah had said, the one thing about Twitch is that you must be genuine. Yeah. Like, you have to be you. So, you're finally given a chance to. Hey.
Correct. So, I think that about rounds up our main topic.
Yes.
And I meant to say wraps up, and I said rounds up, and you all are just going to deal with it.
Whatever.
Now we're on to...
Chick picks!
Dun, 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 dun.
Woo!
So, my first chick pick is amazing. There is this grandma who very soothingly is playing Skyrim right now.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
shared the link with you. Guys, I meant to only watch a little bit of it just to see what it was, and I just couldn't stop watching. It's like your grandma just being like, all right, now I'm going to see if this dead guy has anything I want on him. Okay, it doesn't look like he has any loot. All right, so now we're gonna go and we're gonna fight the rats. And you're just like, Grandma, who taught you? Who taught you how to do this? It's pretty great.
I love it.
I hope you enjoy
I have to
it.
check that out. I didn't look at it before we came by.
So that's my first chick pick.
So my first chick pick, I think my other ones are in the last email.
Crap.
I might have gotten cut off. But my first chick pick is that Mos Eisley Underground is making a comeback with a punch. We've got 3 shows launching or relaunching over the next week. I took a little break to get things reorganized and cut out any of the slack that was no longer relevant. So now we're a podcast network. Our shows involve, my show is about comics within the Star Wars universe called Mos Eisley Comic Port. Our show comes back on Monday next week. Really cool. Very excited. Our second show is Hanging with Team Kanan, which is our Star Wars Rebels podcast that is starting up on October 18th, which is after Star Wars Rebels comes back. I'm so excited. And that is with myself, Jonah Marie Macias, and Jeremy Conrad. And then Jeremy is hosting his own show about collecting Star Wars stuff. So that is all on MosEisleyUnderground.com. Make sure to come back Monday because that is the start of all the fun.
And Ninja Puss, in response to your comment, do not read the comments. You know better than to read the comments.
Yeah, don't read the comments.
Don't read the comments.
Where'd my other chick pics go?
I found them.
Oh,
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm just pasting mine so I can scroll back up to yours. So my second chick pick is that I was on a really awesome podcast called Legion of Leia.
I love them.
It was really fun. We ended up on a really, really bad side of the internet. I don't even want. When you say Nightwing from now on, I also have a moment where I'm like, oh. Okay.
Oh no,
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
We got to the bad side of the internet, but
Aww.
it was for a worthy cause. It was to learn about shipping and to talk about all the cool geeky news going on, actually pretty similar to what we do here. And I think you will laugh a lot, so you should, especially at the end where no one can speak anymore because they're too busy dying of laughter. So give that a listen.
Yes. My second chick pick is that New York Comic Con is coming up next week. Not next week, the week after next. Yes, week after next. I'm going to New York. I'm going to be at Comic Con. It'll be great. Come out, have fun. But there's also a rave called the Blade Rave, where they are going to recreate the rave scene from Blade.
I'm so jealous that you got to go.
All your fucking gothic clothes and meet me at the goddamn Blade Rave. And just not the nice gothic clothes, because you're about to get, like, drenched in blood. But... oh my god! I'm so excited.
I'm really jealous. Why does New York get the cool shit?
Because New York is the shit.
Oh well, we did get a Star Wars celebration. I'm gonna try to be reasonable here, but I'm pretty jealous of that. Hopefully somebody from LA who goes really enjoys it and comes back and just does it here.
Yeah, I mean, well, I got a press invite, so I'm gonna talk to them and be like, it'd be great is if you just did it on the other side of the country too.
Right. And I'm a nerd because it's called the Blade Rave, and all I can think is if you add an N, it becomes Blade Raven, and Raven from Tekken is Blade. It's just Blade. Okay. Back to Sarah being a human being. My last chick pick is that I wrote a game.
Yay!
It's pretty crazy when you think about it. I wrote a game, guys. I made it, Mom.
Sarah wrote a game!
It's called Blade, Sword of Elysium, and it's a mobile game, and you should just go play it, because it's so simple.
Thank you, Ninja Puss!
Yes, thank you, Ninja Puss. You're trying to upstage me, but it's whatever. Just kidding. Yeah, you should totally go play my game.
Yes. My final chick pick is that at New York Comic Con, the Women in Geek Media panel is officially returning, and our lineup is stupid good. Like, stupid good. Like, I have no idea how I got half of these chicks to say yes. It's about getting a job in a world where, diversity is just now opening up into doors, and how to help your coworkers, how to help your colleagues, and also make it as a journalist or a film writer or an editor. So for that, I have brought together a dream team of amazing people, including Jamie from Black Girl Nerds, who's going to be on the panel, Sam Maggs, formerly of Mary Sue, she's the author of The Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy, Deb Aoki, who has more, her experience in the manga community and translating, editing has been as long as I have been alive, I think. Goodness, who else do we have? We have such amazing people. Jody Hauser of the Orphan Black comic is going to be there. And then Alicia Grasso, my editor-in-chief and movie pilot, will be moderating. So come check us out. It's the second year in a row. We have a prime time spot on Saturday at 2:45 p.m. in room 101AB, directly after the Star Wars publishing panel. So you can even walk over with me. So
just join Katrina on that walk.
Just let's go. Let's march and be like, sorry, Star Wars, we got stuff to do.
If you lead a march out of there, then just please somebody periscope it so I can enjoy that.
That'll be amazing.
Pretty jealous of everything involving New York Comic Con. One day I will get to go.
You've gotta go. It's amazing.
It's just expensive.
It's amazing.
All right, guys, starting a GoFundMe. Get Sarah to New York ever.
Whenever I move back there, you're welcome to stay in my home.
I actually have relatives there already, so I never need to spend money when I stay in New York. It's the flight.
You gotta check out. Okay, so if you know, just
Pro
a
tip.
precursor, just a pro tip. Check out New York flights on Virgin Airlines on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays during fall and spring. Like that is when they're cheap as shit. The airline flights for New York Comic Con are like $250 round trip.
What? That's cheaper than going home.
Virgin.
Wow.
Yeah,
Alright, I need
so-
to try. Virgins are always better.
Like when I flew over here and moved here from New York to LA, I paid $127 for my flight, plus tax. But you know, Virgin America is no fucking joke, and it's real nice.
All right. Well, now I know. Watch me have a job next
They
year
should pay
too,
me
and
for
not be
this.
able to go. Like, Sarah, you're just a bum sitting on your couch. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go to New York Comic Con.
Just do it. It's
If you
amazing.
see me just show up, know that that's what happened. I just had a moment at night where I was like, I'll make $100. I'll sell a video game.
Let's
Anyway.
just go.
All right, guys. Well, that rounds up our chick picks. We hope
That's
you
it.
enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow us. I'm Sarah the Rebel,
And I'm OhCatrina
and this has been Woman
Woman
Up
Up
Podcast.
But
Be
before you
sure-
go, oh sorry, I thought we were gonna end, and I was like, wait, we've got to tell them our social media thing. But you were saying it. I'm sorry.
No,
We
it's
should have
fine.
closed
You
after
do
that.
it.
Okay. Okay, but before you go, make sure to follow our new Twitter at Woman Up Show. That is on Twitter again. We're looking for more followers, and send us all of your questions, all of your chick pics, or otherwise pics, and interact with us. Sarah is always doing awesome things on the Twitter.
Sarah is. I love how you changed it.
Sometimes I put something in buffer, but for the most part, it's Sarah. So
It's probably always me. Yes, and we did forget to talk about that I will be at TwitchCon. We just mentioned it briefly. I will be at TwitchCon working in the educational area. I'm working the Esports US booth. We'll be doing giveaways all day, so if any of you happen to get to TwitchCon, you should totally check it out. If you can't get to TwitchCon, you should do me a solid by following them on Twitter, so that I look like I did a really good job.
yay!
And for those of you listening in the audio format, you're listening to this either on allgames.com or on iTunes, but we are hosted on All Games, and you should check out. They have a lot of other cool podcasts as well.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.